Hey, my name is Dave, and I made this quick video to show you two things you should know how to do before you start taking guitar lessons. The first is how to tune your guitar, and the second is how to read guitar tabs. How to tune your guitar. You can use an electric tuner, you can use your 5th fret, or you can use harmonics. Let's start by talking about how to use an electric tuner. In order to use an electric tuner, it's important to know the names of your strings. This is because most electric tuners are really simple devices, and they aren't foolproof. Let's see how this works. The display of every tuner will be a little different, but they all work generally the same way. You need to check that the tuner is reading the correct name of the string that you're trying to tune, and then you need to get the meter or light, or in this case it's a bubble, into the center. You can see here that I'm trying to tune my D string. If you're not sure what I mean by that, you can go back to the start of the video where I showed the names of the open strings. And the tuner is displaying a D just to the left of the bubble. Once all the strings are in tune, it's a good idea to go back and double check them. Using the 5th fret. Because of the way the guitar is built, if you play the 5th fret of your thickest string, your low E string, it should sound exactly the same as your open A string. If it doesn't sound the same, you can move the tuning peg of your A string until the two notes sound the same. All I'm doing here is playing the 5th fret of my E string and comparing it to the sound of my open A string. Once they sound more or less the same to me, I repeat the process with the next two strings. It's important to notice how I'm turning the tuning pegs with my right hand. This allows me to let the strings ring out so that I can actually hear what I'm doing to the pitch as I turn the tuning pegs. Once we get to the G and B strings, rather than using the 5th fret like we've been doing for every other string, we need to play the 4th fret on the G string and compare that to the open B string. The reason we need to do this for this string has to do with the way that the guitar is tuned, and it's not super important to know right now. Once we get to the B and E strings, we go back to using the 5th fret on the B string and comparing it to the open E string. Finally, you can use 12th fret harmonics to tune your guitar. Honestly, this is kind of advanced and it's definitely not something you need to know how to do before your first lesson. But in time, learning to use this method in conjunction with using the 5th fret and an electric tuner will ensure that you're playing in tune to the best of your ability. This is just a quick demonstration, but what I'm doing is comparing what is called the 12th fret harmonic to the 7th fret on the following string and checking with my ear that they sound the same. When you get to the G and B strings, you need to compare the 12th fret harmonic of the G string to the 8th fret of the B string. Let's talk about how to read guitar tabs. Guitar tabs are a really simple method of reading that is specific to the guitar. This means that if you show guitar tabs to a piano player or a saxophone player, they're not going to be able to read it. All it is 6 horizontal lines. Each line represents one of your strings. The bottom line represents your thickest string, and the top line represents your thinnest string. I've written the names of each string to the left of the horizontal lines here, so you can go back and compare this image with the image earlier in the video showing the names of each string. The number 3 in this image means you need to play the 3rd fret. Because the number 3 is written on the line that represents the A string, you need to play the 3rd fret on your A string. This is how that sounds. Pretty cool, right? Now, if you're looking at guitar tabs and there are several numbers written in a vertical line on top of each other, that means you're supposed to play those notes at the same time like a chord. Here's how that example would sound. If the guitar tab shows a bunch of numbers written in succession, one after the other, it means you need to play each note one at a time. Here's how this example would sound. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And now that you know a little more about how to tune your guitar and how to read guitar tabs, you're ready to take your first guitar lesson.